In the headlines, Zamfara state government asks residents to arm themselves against bandits. INEC says voter registration continues beyond June 30. Coalition wants Northeast to present presidential running mate. And on the foreign scene, Ecuador leaves state of emergency, begins talks with indigenous protesters. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. This hour, I am Nten Ekman. And on the news in detail, decrying the high level of attacks in Zamfara State, the Zamfara State authorities have directed the Commissioner of Police to issue gun licenses to those eligible to bear arms. The government said it is ready to facilitate securing of basic weapons for the people, especially farmers, to defend themselves. The government also has set up a committee to ensure proper implementation of the measures. At least 6 persons, including 5 vigilantes, have been reportedly killed and several farmers were abducted in their farms in border communities between Lapai local government area of Niger State and the Federal Capital Territory. Daily Trust gathered that the incident happened on Friday afternoon around 2 Marpada and Rafin Daji communities which border Niger State and the Federal Capital Territory. The Commander Niger State Vigilante Corps, Lapai Division Mohammed Ibrahim, said 2 vigilantes from Niger State and 3 others from the Federal Capital Territory, as well as one of the farmers kidnapped from Duma village, Lapai local government area, were killed. The Niger State Commissioner for Internal Security, Emmanuel Ouma, confirmed the incident. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR, which was initially scheduled to end on June 30, 2022. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, announced the continuation of the exercise during the Youth Vote Count concert at the All Parade Ground, Abuja, on Saturday. A federal high court in Abuja had stopped INEC from ending the ongoing voter registration exercise. The court, presided by Justice Mobolaji Olajuwon, on Monday granted an order of interim injunction restraining INEC from implementing its June 30 deadline. The court granted the order after hearing an ex parte motion by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP and 185 other concerned Nigerians. Professor Mahmoud Yakubu also disclosed that Nigerians who are currently registering in the ongoing exercise will get their permanent voter cards PVCs in October 2022 as against the January 2023 deadline it had earlier announced.
You want to know when will this registration end? Is it going to end on the 30th of June in the next 5 days? Okay, on behalf of INEC, let me assure you, it no go end for as long as we have you people trying to register to obtain your PVC. We'll continue to register you. I will continue to make sure that you get your PVC. But listen to me. In this place, this is the Old Parade Ground in Abuja. In the last 5 days, from Monday to yesterday, Friday, and we're still registering today, but in 5 days, we registered over 14,000 Nigerians. So we will not stop the registration until we are satisfied that those who wish to register are given the opportunity to do so. Now, when will your PVCs be ready for collection? I want to assure you that the PVCs will be ready for collection latest October this year, long before the election. So what's that? What's up in the world? It's coming to an end. Easy flow, easy.
As the search for the running mate of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu intensifies ahead of the 2023 polls, A group, the Coalition for Peace and Progress, is advocating for the vice president's nominee to be chosen from Nigeria's northeast region. National coordinator of the group, Mohammed Chindo, at a press briefing in Kaduna, said considering the diverse nature of Nigeria and the need to ensure a sense of fairness and belonging, APC should field a Christian from the northeast as Bola Tinubu's running mate.
For Northeast, when you consider in the recent time, the distribution of leadership in the recent time, you find out that North is supposed to occupy the seat of vice president in NAPC. So for fairness, since the president comes from the southwest and is a Muslim, the vice president ought to have come from northeast and a Christian. And we've said that if you consider placing a vice presidential seat to the northeast, and you equally, for fairness, you equally feel that you should be a Christian, we are saying that Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara is the most qualified.
The African Democratic Congress, the ADC governorship candidate in Rivers State, Tonte Ibrahim, has presented controversial actress Tonto Dike as his running mate ahead of the 2023 elections. Dike announced the nomination via her social media handles on Friday, where she shared their plans if elected in next year's election. Tonte Ibrahim and Tonto Dike were also presented with their certificates of return by the ADC party chairman Ralph Okenwosu in Abuja on Friday. The issuance, according to the party, showed its readiness to start mobilizing for support towards victory at the general election.
You are aware, ADC is out to ensure that democracy is practiced in this country in the right way that it should be. It happened in Abeokuta, where 2,050 delegates, without anybody urging them, decided to vote the way they voted. That's democracy in action. Clear democracy. Some people may not like it, but we are in a constitutional democracy. In a constitutional democracy, you must allow diversity of opinion. What has happened, as far as our party is concerned, is exactly that.
The University of Lincoln has banned former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu from undertaking any further duties as a visiting professor after he was accused of trafficking a 15-year-old boy to the United Kingdom for organ harvesting. Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice are currently detained in the UK over the charges ahead of his July 7 court appearance. They have both denied the trafficking charges. He had been a visiting professor of corporate and international linkages at the University of Lincoln. But according to a spokesperson who spoke to a British tabloid Daily Mail, the university has stopped him from acting in any official capacity. Families of the alleged trafficked children in Taraba State have dragged both the state government and the state police command to the federal government over the alleged release of the suspected trafficker. The suspect, Mary Yakubu, it will be recalled, was on April 2019 arrested for allegedly being in illegal possession of no fewer than 16 children. Representatives whose children have been under the custody of the state government for the past 3 years said all efforts to get their children and wards reunited with their family members have proved abortive. The family, who lamented the alleged release of the suspected trafficker while the children are still being kept under the watch of the state government, called on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, wade in by facilitating the release of their children. When reached for comments, the State Commissioner of Police, Abimbola Shokoya, told newsmen that the case is an inherited one, adding that the police under his watch has been providing adequate security for the children.
Say that I have not been intimated with any information of what actually happened, how the children got to the welfare center. We don't know much about that because this is an inherited matter. Unless I go into the archives or I start checking the files, that's when I can know the position of Madam Mary. But what is certain, the one that the veracity cannot be doubted or controverted, is that the children were there at the welfare center, which is an integral part of Taraba Motel. Forcefully, they were whisked away, and with concerted efforts, we'll be able to rescue. We'll be able to rescue 51 out of the 72 that were whisked away, and we have returned them back to the welfare center. So, Madam Mary, we don't know much, and we would not like to go into what we do not, the case that we did not investigate.
And shop owners at Leila Dogonyaro complex at Ungwa Rimi low-cost housing in Kaduna North Local Government area of Kaduna State have decried what they called illegal demolition of their shops by the Kaduna State Development and Property Complex, KSTPC. They said despite obtaining all necessary documents for the said property and the existing court order, the government agency went ahead and demolished their property. The report.
The group, speaking through its leader, described as unfortunate the move by government to demolish their property in Spada Place.
This property was issued officially by the Kaduna State Development and Property Limited. There is a deed and all the ground rent has been paid up to date. There is no any written document or any contention or any query on the occupation of this place. We have all the papers. We have everything. We have a court order. And we thought because it's a democratic administration, they will follow the court order. They refuse.
They said they were given only 3 hours to vacate the property before the demolition.
In fact, they gave us only 3 days. In fact, 3 hours. 3 hours. I have never seen where an agency of government will give an occupant, which was officially issued, 3 hours to vacate a property.
Effort to hear from the Kaduna State Development and Property Company proved abortive.
You're watching the news update reaching you live on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, how horse trading is turning into a lucrative business. Stay with us.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're still watching the news update coming to you live on Trust TV. Let's remind you of our top stories. Zamfara state government asks residents to arm themselves against bandits. INEC says voter registration continues beyond June 30. In the rest of the news, an internally displaced person in Maiduguri, Ali Fidel, is into construction and fabrication of innovative equipment that lessen difficult tasks. The 33-year-old inventor recently fabricated a hybrid tricycle, the first of its kind in Borno State. He said if given the support, he'll invent machines that will boost agricultural production in the country. Beatrice Kurutsi tells us more about him in this report.
At the peak of the insurgency in Borno State, Marte was among many communities attacked and controlled by the dreaded Boko Haram terrorists. Ali Fidel's hometown was not spared in the extremist terror campaign. 8 years later, as an IDP in Al-Maskin, life must continue in Maiduguri despite challenges. The 33-year-old survives on proceeds from his welding and fabrication business. Among his collection of inventions is T-Rex, a hybrid tricycle.
I get it from scrap irons, Ajakuta. If I go to Ajakuta, if I went to buy some irons to work for some people, then if I see something that important to me, I will buy it from that side. Then I will come and just pack it. Gradually, then I complete the properties. Then I start constructing it, and I finish it.
Like now, how much to construct this kind of thing?
Even for sale, it really like 500,000, like 700. It's too cost. So I spend a lot of money for this thing. I like it. That's why I construct it.
Ali recalls that his mental work apprenticeship began at the age of 9 under the supervision of his father. His goal is to fabricate mechanical tools that will make farming easy, but his greatest challenge is funding.
I will do many of the things like this. I had many plans, but lack of capital. That's make it like this. Even this one I see, I just very excuse myself before I start because I spend a lot of money for this construction of this one. You know, you are working here, you feed your children, you go to school, all in this one. I don't have any place that is bringing money. Only this welding that I feed myself.
Ali Fidel plans to design and invent more machines if he gets the support he desires. But while nursing such lofty dreams for the agricultural sector, he hopes Mother Nature will one day smile at him and lead him to where dreams translate to reality.
The horse is an animal with unique features loved by all and used by some special people in the society. Many in Nigeria refer to the horse as the royal animal, and the reason is simple. First, kings and other traditional rulers as well as traditional title holders ride on horsebacks, especially on special occasions like Salah and other festivities such as Durbar and polo games. This important class of people also use horses in sports such as horse racing, which is one of the lucrative businesses in Middle East and Sub-Saharan Africa. Abdullahi Amade visited one of the horse markets in northern Nigeria and has this report for Trust TV.
Interestingly, there are only two major horse markets in the northwestern part of Nigeria, and they are Maiadua in Katsina and Megatari in Jigawa State. At the Maiadua International Border Market in Katsina State, the business seems to be more lucrative as festive periods like Salah are approaching. The market is declining because the patronage of merchants is dropping due to insecurity. Before the deterioration of security situation, we used to have merchants from Enugu, Delta, and other eastern states. Prices vary depending on the size, color, and physical fitness of the animal. Prospective buyers here pay between 500,000 to 1 million naira for a horse to be used for polo, daba, and other activities. Negotiations have been concluded. The horse has been sold, and this is the money, says this middleman. An interesting dimension to the trading of horses is that customers are allowed to take a ride to test the animal to see if it fits the profile of the buyer. On a sad note, weak and sick horses are sold to traders, mostly from eastern Nigeria, for consumption. However, one of the major constraints in the horse trade at this border market is the instability in exchange rates and continued devaluation of the naira. The major issue affecting us in horse business at this border market is the devaluation of Nigerian currency. The exchange rate is now about 1,000 naira to Niger currency, that is SEPA. There are some other factors which heighten the risk of the trade, which may result in traders losing their business. Government may need to urgently intervene in a strategic way to save the sector from collapsing. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
The federal government has confirmed the invasion of swamp birds and locusts destroying farm produce in 3 northern states. The affected states are Sokoto, Kebbi, and Zamfara. Chief Veterinary Officer of the Federation, Maimouna Habibu, on Saturday disclosed this, adding that the reported cases of locust invasion were particularly recorded in Zamfara and Kebbi states. Dr. Habibu said the ministry has already deployed officials to begin aerial attacks against the locust in the affected states. She said the federal government's action followed complaints of destruction of crops from farmers in the affected states. The Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, is stressing the importance of strengthening relations between the Kingdom of Morocco and the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Speaking during a courtesy visit to the Moroccan Minister of Endowment and Religious Affairs, Ahmed Tawfiq, the Emir says his week-long visit to the kingdom is to further cement ties between the two countries. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reports.
Received by the Minister of Religious Endowment and Islamic Affairs of the Kingdom of Morocco, the Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, is visiting the kingdom to further strengthen the mutual relationship between the Kingdom of Morocco and Kano Emirate. Referring to the economic power of Morocco and the economic prospect of Nigeria, the Emir stated that his visit will make the relationship between the two countries even more fruitful and stronger, while acknowledging the mutual relationship between Morocco under King Mohammed VI and Nigeria under President Muhammadu Buhari.
I believe the prospect is huge, taking into consideration the economic power of this country, as well as the population and the economic prospect in our country that has over 200 million people. So we believe this is part of the visit that will make the relationship stronger.
On his part, Minister Ahmed Tawfiq said that the region of Kano, located in northern Nigeria, has historical relations with the kingdom, especially the Ado Bayero family, emphasizing the common values between the Kingdom of Morocco and the Republic of Nigeria. In other development, the Emir also visited the Morocco Council of Ulamas, where he re-emphasized his continued commitment toward maintaining the existing relationship between Morocco and the people of Kano Emirate and Nigeria in general. Indeed, this visit is one that we will never forget throughout our lives. We all have a history of the existing relationship between this kingdom and our forefathers, and we all have heard their immense contribution to the growth and development of our people. Therefore, it will be wrong for us to not honor their legacy of maintaining this centuries-old relationship.
This is the tomb?
Yeah, this is the tomb. This is the tomb.
Activities of the Emir's week-long visit to the Kingdom of Morocco include visit to the Mohammed VI Museum for the Civilization of Water, visit to Mohammed VI Institute for the Training of Ulamas, among other important places. Idris Juprin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Bread producers and caterers on Friday threatened to withdraw their services nationwide due to the unprecedented increase in bakery materials. In a communique issued by their national body, the Association of Master Bakers and Caterers of Nigeria, the group stated that the cost of flour, sugar and other materials used in bakery business has skyrocketed beyond the reach of many bakers. In the communique, which was issued after the National Executive Council meeting of the association in Abuja and made available to correspondents on Friday, the bakers stated that they will down tools from July 13, 2022. They also revealed that efforts to get government intervention in the matter had been unsuccessful, as there had been no positive response from the concerned ministries, departments and agencies of government. On the foreign scene, Ecuador's President Guillermo Lasso has lifted a state of emergency imposed in 6 provinces amid mass protests by indigenous groups as legislators begin hearing an opposition motion to remove him from office. Lasso's decision on Saturday followed the first official talks between government officials and Ecuador's largest indigenous organization, which began the protest 2 weeks ago to demand gasoline prices be cut, price controls be imposed on agricultural products and a larger budget be set for education. The meeting was held in the Basilica Church in the colonial center of Quito and was attended by Minister of Government Francisco Gemenzi, Foreign Minister Juan Carlos Holguin, President of the Confederation of Indigenous Nationalities of Ecuador Leonidas Iza, and other social leaders. After the talks, Lasso eased the security measures as requested by the indigenous leaders. In sports, Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro has commended the Golden Eaglets following the team's successful outing at the WAFU B Under-17 Championship in Ghana. The Nduka Ogbade-led side defeated Burkina Faso 2-1 in a keenly contested final clash at the Cape Coast Stadium on Friday night. The Golden Eaglets were clearly the best team in the competition, winning all 4 games. Former Super Eagles head coach and technical director of the Nigerian Football Federation, Austin Eguavon, also eulogized the Eaglets for the wonderful feat. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update this hour on Trust Television. For more, do connect with us on all our social media platforms. I am Nten Ekman. Thanks for watching. See you in the next hour.